Hi.
Great way to start the story.
You know what? We are exercising. Demons out right now.
Oh, Lord Jesus, I'm about to dribble in a minute.
Oh my God.
I'm ready, Jesus. What's that?
Hello.
That's good though, because all this week when I had the energy to literally set fire to a government building, it just didn't happen because I was okay. I'm gonna share my story with y'all. Yes, I do sell the Lord Have All of the Mercy T-shirts. It is on. There's a link on my YouTube page for my Teespring store. Is what it is. So what had happened was I did my taxes recently, and don't do your taxes. This is the moral of the story. Don't do your taxes during retrograde. So I did my taxes, and I owed the state of Pennsylvania $620. Now I have a Tarot's Apprentice account that takes care of Tarot's Apprentice needs, right? And out of that comes my taxes, StreamYard, Zoom, all the stuff that I have to pay for Tarot's Apprentice. So I paid my taxes, federal and state $620. I paid. Me, personally, I paid. I went to the thing and said $620 debited today. They did. And then automatically debited me the very next day for the exact same amount. $620 twice to the state of Pennsylvania. I am not that good of a citizen. Give me my money back. That's what I say. I'm not just giving y'all money to what you gonna do with it. You're gonna give it back. That's what you're gonna do. You know how many chips and Funyuns I could have bought with $620? And so all of my things that are automatically debited from the Tarot's Apprentice account have all declined because they took the 620. Like the cushion that I leave in there for all the other garbage that I have to pay for, the state of Pennsylvania has it, and nothing gets paid until they give it back to me. Now, mind you, I could pay it with my own money, but I ain't. So like that's what I had it in there for, not to pay you twice, but to pay all of my other obligations. So the state of Pennsylvania could kiss my behind on both sides and down the middle because I want my money back right now. And so the good thing, though, was I sent them an email. They said, yes, we do see the payment. And I was like, relax for date release, because I was like, I'm going to call them. They'd be like, well, I don't see. And can you fax me? I ain't got no fax machine. What is this, 1914? It's like, sucker, I can scan it to my computer and email you, but none of that occurred. They said, yes, we see it. Just send us the email saying you want it back. I mean, okay. So I did. No, I called the bank. The bank said you have to try it with them first. And then you call us if you get no response. And I got a response, which was the good thing. Not only did I, yes, it's my money and I need it now. So not only did I get a phone call, I got an email back. So everything is going good. I ain't got my money back yet, but you know, it's bureaucracy. So it takes time, but I ain't stressed about it.
You'll
that
get
was
it
the
next
good
year.
that was yeah. They can play with me if they want to.
That's not incorrect. That's just
600, and see if it was like $10, I still want it back because it's mine.
right.
But $620, that's a lot for you to take 2 times. And then at the very same time, I had to pay federal. And so the federal and 2 states came out of that one account at the same time. And then I got all these text message notifications. This payment failed. That payment failed. I'm like, what you mean?
Man.
And I go to my account. You have $8.64. But then you look down in there, Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, 620. Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. So what the? I need you to be a little less common in my bank account is what I need you to do, and give me my $620 back before somebody died.
They were comfortable too, just going in and extracting without permission.
Yeah, you went in and Mars flew out.
I mean,
Like, there's nothing.
so at least I have Mercury retrograde got me at the end, but that's okay because she's still a whore and I don't like her. But at least we have recovered at least a little bit. It's not the biggest deal in the world because at least the people on that side have a record of it. They will give it back to me probably when I reach my 70s, but at least I get it back.
They were probably dealing with the retrograde too. I bet her computer froze up and she's like clicking, spamming a bunch of times.
The
Come
woman
on,
I
go
talked to
through.
on the phone, she sounded like she was making it up as she went along, but at least she called me back.
Tried.
She called,
See,
she
what
said,
happened was
my name is such and such. I'm here calling for Johnny. I'm like, why is she yelling? Because I was startled. What are you yelling? I ain't got you on speakerphone or nothing. I said, yes. Okay, and I guess I need to talk now. I said, so yes. Yeah, okay, so you got $620 for me. I want it back. Just go into your account. And then I said, my account is not active because y'all still are sending me a account activation letter that I have to wait on and then go in, type in the code, and then the account is active. There's a faster way to do this. So I found the faster way. Moral of the story, don't stress out. Look for options. And so that has been my story since I moved to Pennsylvania. When I got here, I thought all my stuff was stolen, and I was going down a very dark path. I'm like, how much witchcraft can you do to a person at one time? Because somebody got my stuff and they about to get it. Just calm down. There are options, and there's the things that you need to look for.
And don't do important things during retrograde
Don't do important things during retrograde.
if you can help it.
Use your brain piece and remember that. So that's my story. So how y'all doing out there in the world? The total keeps going down to 1 every time I look at it. It says 151, 1, 151. So I don't know. We're here. You're here. We're all good. They're all good. I'm about to sneeze from this incense. My spirit keepers. So any announcements? Red Lentil Healing. Any?
Tomorrow, February horoscope, 7:30 p.m. on my channel. Be there, be square.
Shining Hulk Healing. Any announcements?
tomorrow on Adrian's channel. Be there or be
He's so childish.
octagonal.
That's a good shape.
I like that. Okay. Seanna Rose Metaphysical. Any announcement? Now you have a live stream yourself coming up.
I do. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Reiki stream on my channel. So be there and be whatever shape you want.
I actually sent a person, she may have subscribed to you, somebody my brother works with, because he was telling her about my channel and wanted to know if I knew any Reiki healers or who did or Reiki on YouTube. And I was like, yes, I know quite a few people who do Reiki, and here is one channel you can go to. So I gave her your channel, so hopefully she'll.
Oh, perfect.
And shout out to the Yoshi on your wall. I love that.
Yeah, all of your.
I made Yoshi and Birdo the other day.
It looks so good, Sienna.
Love those.
Thank you.
You're so professional.
I also have little Piantas. My man is like a really big Super Mario Sunshine fan, so I painted him some little Piantas.
So good.
I wish I was
so
talented.
adorable.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Yeah, I made just about all of these except for this.
So cute.
I can't. Then I look at my paintings on the wall. It is literally colored, and I just did this. Anyway, my announcements are: we will be live with Adrian tomorrow at 7:30 on her, 7:30 on her channel for our Zodiacals Horror of the Scopes. So y'all make sure you are there. Sunday we will be on my channel. Lena will be joining us next Sunday. We will be on Jen Lynn's channel, and Adrian will be joining us. And then after that, I don't know, Becca's channel, I think, something like that. I don't know. I don't keep up with that. I just knew that because Jen texted me and told me. So let's get started. We're 10 minutes in. I have yapped and yapped and yapped. Gemini power. Okay, so we were talking after the last stream, like sort of backstage, if you will, about spiritual amnesia. Why the spirits on the other side, they know everything that a spirit is supposed to know on the other side about life and spiritualism and the light and all that stuff. Why is it if we incarnate into flesh here on this here planet, why do we forget all of that stuff? Like, why didn't we carry that knowledge with us? If that soul on that side that had all that light and enlightenment came here, why don't they still have it? Why don't we still know it? Why can't we say, oh, you know, life is not that serious because we're just going to come back again or whatever? Why don't we know that stuff anymore? What happened? What happened with us?
Oh, this is interesting.
Oh.
I heard equilibrium. So there's nobody at an advantage. We all have to come in on the same. It's to force equality as much as possible. So here's how we come in with a major change. So we've signed this, and the challenge actually is the tower. We agreed to this. Actually, that's the challenge. Is you're going to come, you're going to do this, and I'm going to blow up every memory of everything that you've already had prior to coming here. In the recent past is the completion. That was, or in the recent past, half of that made no effort.
But I will say, there is a Celtic cross spread that does have a position called recent past.
Yeah, that's not the Celtic cross spread. I was doing it, but the past position is the world. So there is that. Yep, it's gonna be like that tonight. Completion. Yeah. I heard contract, even though it's the Ace of Pentacles, I clearly heard contract when I pulled this card. And the seven
both those cards.
See, and the 7 of Swords. It's literally so we are not conniving and manipulative. It's so we come in even keel. It's to kind of balance that out. And then that was the entire plan. This is it. You got to wait for it to come in. We all have to learn together. It's not, it's just to set the balance.
Toni, what you get? Toni's muted.
You're muted, Toni.
I got the giveaway. So when we come here, we agree, like Adrian was saying, to do the, I guess, participate in the great forgetting so that you can move through so to learn lessons here in this classroom on this ball that we call home, so that once we go back, we have more wisdom. See, if you look at this card all the way at the top of that little mountain, there's a little man up there. You see, or a woman, a person.
Oh yeah,
there's a little person up there. So that's, that's us attaining our the next level, the next level. This is when we level up. In the video game we call life.
My guide actually gave me the image of, now this is Ace of Pentacles, but the word I heard was new save file. It's kind of, this is 8 of Cups. We left behind that old life. We learned what we could from it, we might still be playing the same game, which is, life on Earth, but it's a brand new save. It doesn't have really anything to do with the save you had just left behind. I have Three of Cups. There are still connections that we have in our current life to previous lifetimes. It's not like completely remembering, but it's getting little hints or like little crumbs here and there. I also have the World card here. I think this is also to do with like completion, but I'm also just getting like, it's kind of all the same experience life, but we're just looking at it from a different way each time. I have Nine of Swords here so that the trauma from a past life doesn't affect your current life when it doesn't have to. And then I have the Emperor so that your current life isn't being dictated by actions of your past life. But that's what I've got.
I agree with all of y'all. I get the Eight of Cups as well. There is some walking away, leaving. It's kind of like they're sitting there and they get the assignment. Okay, you're going to go be Johnny Porter on Earth now. Okay, so hold my beer till I get back. And they get up, they come here, and that beer is their information. Everything that they knew before, they left behind. Why? Because it's a new experience, new person, start over. Everybody, like Adrian said, on the same level. Mm-hmm. You get access to enlightenment. You get access to enlightenment maybe in a different way. But the Eight of Cups is with the Eight of Wands. You leave behind all that you knew, all your communications, all of your back and forth, your knowledge, your actions, that type of thing. There is Nine of Swords and death. There might also be a bit of anxiety that it might create in a human being to know a specific detail about the other side. We know what we gain from maybe readings or mediumship or things like that about the light and about maybe the toils and trauma of being on the other side, even for some, especially if they got there unexpectedly or something like that. But there might be something there, kind of like if you were to see with your human eyes a creature that is an alien but does not look human. Like most people say the aliens are in disguise. If you saw the thing with the 8 arms, and you would freak
Angels like described in the Bible.
So there might be some sort of detail about death that causes some worry and stress and anxiety. So it's good to kind of leave all that behind. You start fresh. You do know there's an other side. There's a part of everyone, even all the atheists in the world, that knows that there's something else. They just maybe can't explain it, so they deny it. But I think, yeah, so you can start over, start fresh. I think that's a bit unfair, but, I ain't in charge.
I heard something after hearing everybody and then hearing like you towards the end, Johnny. I don't know if anybody has seen Squid Game.
Oh, yeah.
I heard of it.
I think it was the second episode, or maybe the beginning of the third, when the doctor they found out that the doctor. Oh, spoiler alert! Anybody hasn't seen it. They found out that some of the players were cheating because they knew what games were coming up next, and the head guy killed him. And everybody's like, "Why'd you kill him?" He said, "Because it's not fair. The one thing that makes everybody in this room work is that they're all equals." Everything outside of this life didn't matter, and so they are in this room. Everybody has to have the same opportunity to fight and win by their own strengths and merits. And I'm like, I wonder if that's what Spirit's trying to do. Why we don't remember?
It makes sense.
I like that we oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I like that we do get to remember bits and pieces of it through, readings or hypnosis, things like that. But that's kind of part of the challenge, like figuring it out along the way instead of just being born with all the information all at once. I feel like that would be so overwhelming.
And boring.
And remember having all these memories. Okay, did that happen last year or did that happen in my other life?
Mm-hmm.
My only problem with the whole thing is now you leave room for doubting the spiritual realm even exists. Mm-hmm. Because there's no proof that you brought along that you were once there. Now you have to sort of realize everything. And for some people, it's like near-death experience. Oh, now I realize. Like, why do we have to be pushed to the brink of extinction before I realize, oh, other side, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, hi, Jody and Spark. They had a live stream today that was quite funny. So make sure y'all go to Jody's channel and watch it. Okay, on Red Lentil Healing, there was a series of live streams we did called Personas.
Oh, I was like, we did? There was.
Hey, we did.
Told
Where
y'all. Long week.
where we looked at the goings on of a person, like why are they the way they are, so forth, so forth. So one of the people that I would like us to look at, maybe get a little insight into who they are and why they are, is Hulk Hogan, or Terry Bollea is his real name. So he was a wrestler, for those who don't know, but I'm pretty sure you do know because he was, in movies. He was the biggest personality in the world at one point.
Yeah.
But he lies more than Trump, to be like, and that's not even an exaggeration. But he lies, and they're creative, but they're unnecessary. He said Elvis Presley was the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. Elvis Presley died before Hulk Hogan was a wrestler. He said that AC/DC wanted him to be the lead guitarist. And that didn't happen. He said that he was this close to committing suicide. He had a gun to his temple and everything. Layla Ali called him on the phone, and he decided not to do it. Even Layla Ali said that wasn't true.
It's like, I know.
It's like,
Especially the way
oh,
he
you
was
think of all these stories. He said he wrestled 400 days in 1 year. 400 days, not times. 400 days in
Did he
1
go to
year.
another planet to do this?
Because what happened is he crossed the continuum when he goes, like he went to Japan, and there's a thing where when you go to Japan, it jumps a day or something.
Oh, the date line. Yep.
So he's saying he did that enough to where he wrestled 400 days in 1 year.
And he's like Superman. He flies backwards around the world
He's like
to
Superman.
slow down time so that
All
he
right.
can wrestle all those times.
So lately, now mind you, he's also a raging racist. He said that's not who he is, but he is on recording said he didn't want his daughter dating no N-words.
Ooh.
Also,
And then in his apology, actually used the N-word in the apology.
so, I mean,
And his daughter was
mouth.
oh God. She had just
Oh, I felt horribly embarrassed. Oh,
It was
Real
rough. I
brain
remember
trust.
that mess.
I mean, so lately, so what he's the latest thing he said is Betty White, who was 99, and Sidney Poitier, who was 94. He said they died because of the vaccine. So, who is he? Why is he like this?
Is that the question? Why is he
Yes.
like this?
This is the persona. Can you give me an insight into Hulk Hogan?
Because initially I was like, I wonder if he has CTE. But I asked that question, I got the answer. He don't.
I mean,
He don't.
no.
I was like, does he? Every damn no card I can get was like, no. He's just crazy. Actually, didn't tell me he was crazy. I don't know yet.
Because I think he was one of the people who wouldn't take a chair shot to the head. I think he was more of a back person. Like you could hit him in the back with a chair, but not in the head.
He lives in his own little world.
Yes, he does.
Fantasy world.
Yes, he does.
He lives
these
in
cards
a,
just get more and more interesting.
he is this is very interesting.
Wow.
Everybody's like, good Lord, who's this? What am I pulling here?
He's out of his friggin' mind. Oh, sorry.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
I mean, oh boy.
I don't know.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Every chakra but the root chakra. So I think that's the only time that he may have had some inkling of okay in his life, but then it goes like after. Usually, depending on what modality you follow, either up to 9 months or up to 18 months was all of the stability that man has ever seen in his life. Trust issues with people, solar sacral chakra does not trust people is what I hear, because celebrate your friends, that's not what he does. He celebrates himself. There's just very devoid of interpersonal relationships, very charged with his solar plexus chakra. I feel it in my stomach, very wound up, very, very charged. This is a person who has a really hard time, it says taking accountability and actually doing too. I wonder if he has to be forced to do a lot of things. He may be naturally more timid and more scared. So we see the false bravado. But on the inside, he's scared. No love, no self-love, was not shown love. His throat chakra, not there. He's really real high. I don't know. This is just, and there's multiple, by the way, of third eye and crown chakra cards. This man can't see, can't force shadow. I got a whole bunch of tarot too, and none of them are nice. Tarot, Four of Swords, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords, all of the like not so positive cards you can get. I mean, for crying out loud, it started with the Tower. So there's just a lot. He's had a lot of upheaval, a lot of things waiting for his turn, trying to do things, having to go forward to take some steps back with the Four of Swords. Mass confusion. This man is like, there's something, and with the Ten of Swords, there's nothing here. None of my substance abuse cards. I get the picture of mental abuse. That's the best way I would put it.
So what you get?
I don't know. I have no idea what the hell. This man is all over the place.
Yeah.
He's just like there's heartache and loss, and he is all about communication. He yaps all over the place. He doesn't, but he's lost control because this was on his side. He's kind of lost control of his mental faculties. And he's just jumping off the cliff at every turn. I don't know. I got so many. I have the celebration card. I don't know what that's for. What is he celebrating? I just don't get it. I don't know.
To do drugs,
partying or something.
I
mean, he's definitely steroids. Definitely, 100%. He even admitted that one.
Yeah.
Well, he said because he lies. He said he did not take steroids on Arsenio Hall when he had a TV show back in the day. He said he did not take steroids, and then he proceeded to tell Arsenio Hall a story about him taking steroids.
Well,
Seanna, what you get?
okay, well, I got here. These cards are new. They're really hard to pick up. They're slippery. Okay. Two of Swords. I heard like two minds. Like, I wonder if there is some kind of mental illness in play here. Obviously, I'm not an expert and I wouldn't know what, but it seems like there are two drastically different sides of him, kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing. He has a lot of trauma. 9 of Wands, 5 of Wands. Most of his life, I'm picking up, has been shaped by conflict, has been shaped by fighting. I mean, okay, kind of makes sense, for his career wrestling. Even it's sort of fake. But
I just looked it up. He, because something I heard was like, I don't think he got far in school. I was like, I wonder if he dropped out of school. And so I was trying to look up, and he was gonna go play baseball. That's actually his what his passions was, but he had a major injury, and so he got into wrestling at 16 because of that. It's amazing what you can read on Wikipedia in like 14 seconds.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
So let me explain what you're getting, Seanna.
I also have Ace of Cups. Like there's something else emotional here. Like I feel like he has issues regulating his emotions. So it's almost like what we would consider, happiness to him might be like euphoria up here. What we consider sadness might be like devastating to him. That's something I pick up. I also have this like really, really tight feeling in my chest, like in my body. It's just like a rope that's been twisted so tightly, and it's like that's like his energy. He doesn't really know how to relax or loosen up. I have the judgment card. He does not really think before he speaks. He just kind of, it's like he just blurts out whatever he's thinking, and that's not always a good thing. I do have, though, like Chariot. This is him. I think he knows that he's kind of ridiculous, but he does a lot of the stuff anyways because there's attention there. And, when people are paying attention to him, he still feels relevant. And I feel like that's like something that's really important to him. Also, why he's doing some of the craziness. Some of it is an act, but most of it is like legit. Something is not right here. That boy ain't right.
Something ain't right,
No
y'all.
filter. He's got no filter. It's been like knocked out of him. Definitely a lot of trauma.
He sounds like Trump. I mean, we're not going into politics, but he sounds like a person like that. Like a person who is damaged on the inside and blurts out whatever to the outside.
Yeah.
I get the 8 of Cups, going from thing to thing, never really landing anywhere. Wrestling took him to the highest of heights, mind you, because he was Hulkamania. Ace of Cups and the Fool. His emotions and foolish. He's not a whole person. I think with the High Priestess in the world, once he was realized from Terry Bollea as Hulk Hogan, he became the character, and that's all he is. Also, keep in mind, the wrestlers of today all have Twitters, and we all know their real names, and so we know they're not really who they say they are on TV. Back then, who you were on TV was who you had to be everywhere, because you could not go and be hanging out and call yourself Terry nowhere, because then they would have known you're not really Hulk Hogan and this is fake. So he had to be a character, and I think he's still stuck in that. And that's kind of who, mind you, when you find something like that and it edifies a hole in you, at least for a little bit, you cling to it. And so he's not whole on the inside, but that makes him feel good in the moment. And so he's still that person with the High Priestess. He's still that person. He's still the character. He never really became a real person. He is Hulk Hogan till the day he dies.
And mind you, he started wrestling at 16. So this over most of his life, because he's only 68 years old, is being a character.
At 16, that's so young. You're still so impressionable. You're not even your fully realized self yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
like Tammy Faye Baker. She was that way till the end.
With all that Ronald McDonald makeup on.
Is she the lady with the hair that looks like a helmet? That lady, the blonde lady, and she's got like the Karen haircut, and I swear to God, it doesn't move.
She's dead
looks
now.
like-
But
Oh, okay. I could have mixed up with someone else, but it looks like a Lego person's hair.
That's no. She she was still like that too. She just didn't have that haircut.
y'all should see that movie, Tammy Faye's Eyes, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's really good.
Is it on the Netflix?
I think so. I don't know.
It's called.
But Jessica Chastain, she really morphs into this character, especially in the when she gets older. It's really good.
So next persona that I wanted to do was Martin Shkreli. Martin Shkreli, who we know as Farmer Bro, the one who took the EpiPen and marked it up to $9 million or whatever it was. He marked it way up so that it was
Or
all.
was it HIV medicine?
That's HIV.
I think it was some
I
HIV
think it was a
medicine,
lady
something like
who
that.
did the whole
Is that what it
EpiPen
was?
thing.
But somebody else did the EpiPen.
I can't remember what her name is though.
So he marked up the medicine. Now he went to jail, and
Good.
now he has been fined $64 million that he needs to return to 7 different states because they won their case. Now, what I want to know, though, let's do a persona on him. Why is he this way? Can we get an insight into Martin Shkreli? Because that's not normal. Joe Manchin's daughter did the EpiPen. Okay.
I keep getting the word sociopath. This for entertainment purposes only.
Mhm. Very much so.
Interesting.
Mm.
Mhm. Ah.
Dang.
He's driven by money. There's something that
Right.
happened in childhood too, where he had to defend. And I don't think he's fully aware of his traumatic childhood. I don't think he's actually set back and acknowledged that some FS happened and that it didn't need to happen and that's not for him to carry. He doesn't realize how much that has molded him. So I get the news with money, everything with money. It starts off with the Knight of Pentacles, but then the story really tells me about his childhood. The 9 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, 4 of Wands, the Moon. There was some really deep, dark stuff that happened that made him who he is. He is a direct reflection of just not a good place, not a good environment, not a good upbringing. And it started very early with the root chakra, also with the sacral chakra too. This was embedded in him. It was almost like this was meant to be because there were no other choices or options. He had no role model, no help, nothing. What's interesting is there is no heart chakra nor solar plexus chakra in the entire spread that I did. There's none. That's not even showing up as something that can even be. So think about not having any, being able to control your actions and to show love. That's just not there. It's not. I get just a cloak, like somebody put a hood over my head and put me in a closet. That's kind of what I'm getting. It's hard to talk, actually. So I'm going to pass the baton to Toni.
Who turned out the lights?
Mhm.
Whoa. I actually get the sacral chakra here, that this is like the fire that was lit under him because of his childhood made it impossible for him to move past it. So his quest for power, alliances, money. Oh my God. Transformation. I'm going to push through whatever I want. I don't really care who dies because of it. He's gonna survive and thrive because he just has that thing about him that he just wants. I think you're right, Adrian. He was sent here. He was here for that purpose. That's why he was here, to do what he did, to draw attention to the subject matter so that people can go, oh my goodness, what the heck? Okay, I'm done.
What you get, Sam?
I get a lot of the same stuff. I got 9 of Wands. Here's somebody whose life has been shaped by trauma. And entertainment purposes only. Okay. I have the Empress card. Something could have happened with his mom that had to, that contributed to the trauma. I don't really know. But I didn't like the feeling I got when I pulled this one. It was kind of sad. I have here the Fool card. Like, there's something. Yeah, there's like some part of his brain that it's like it's been switched off. It's like there's something that he's just not seeing. I also have, now I think due to the stuff that, I don't know what he went through as a child, I don't know what the nature of the trauma is, but as a result of it, some people decide, I don't want this to happen to anybody else ever again. And then some people become bitter and they go, you know what, this happened to me, so I don't care if it happens to you.
Hurt people.
That's the choice he made. It makes him feel better knowing that other people are suffering. Because some people are miserable like that, and they say that misery enjoys company. I have also, oh my gosh, these are slippery cards. Okay. I also have the Sun, and I have the Six of Wands. He cares about his own success and what he thinks is going to make him happy. He doesn't care about who gets hurt as a result. He doesn't care about double-crossing people because it doesn't seem to affect him emotionally. That's what I pick up. 5 of Wands, he thrives on conflict. He loves drama. I also have the Star. It gave him notoriety. He likes the attention. It's negative attention, but it's still attention. And the Magician, he loves to manipulate. He likes to stir the pot. Total shit disturber of a person right there. He likes to make people angry and upset. And that is something he gets a real big kick out of. It's really sick.
Because I'm wondering if that was the only way he was able to get any kind of attention.
I wonder if that was the only way he was able to, get any kind of relief from his pain.
That's a good one.
Because Catherine says, because she used to prescribe the medicine that he worked up. She said he's a microcosm of Big Pharma. And the sad part is he is not unique.
No.
And he is just the one that was in the news. There is thousands of Martin Shkrelis. Mine starts with the Ten of Swords, King of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. Somebody in his family was Ten of Swords, and I think it caused some sort of trauma within him. He is then cut off sort of from his emotional baggage and just becomes a pariah after that. And so I think some sort of trauma is the reason he is the way he is now. Now, mind you, I feel bad for you. A little bit. About that much, a bit. Because when you become aware, you become responsible. You know what you are doing is wrong. Change it. That's it. Period. There is no well and maybe and I should. No. You know what you are doing is wrong. Change it. Be it. There's no discussion. If you're starting to now throw up excuses, then you're trying to get out of what it is. You're trying to convince yourself it's not wrong. You know it is. Your ass went to jail. Anyway, so lighten it up a little bit here. Okay, I see every week these stories come on about all of the not TikTok workers, the DoorDash workers saying, I'm not picking up this order because there's no tip. And then all of the Chipotle workers telling you the secret to this burrito, and the Taco Bell workers telling you that the lettuce ain't fresh, and all these different things that they're exposing their business. Mm-hmm. And what I want to know is, will the retailers in food service industry put some sort of parameters in place to where you cannot expose them on social media like that? I worked for a company. We got robbed, not just robbed, but like they stole stuff. They didn't like rob us with a gun. But they stole stuff, and the manager and her daughter were there, and the manager was standing in front of the door because she was going to confront them when they got there because, hey, give me my stuff. They pushed her through the door. Her daughter ran up behind, and the man punched her in the mouth, and she fell face first, and she was 7 months pregnant.
Oh,
So that was a big giant story, and every single station in the news came down to come see us so they can get a story. And then every district manager we had was like, do not talk to anybody. And so they didn't want the story out until they issued a statement and blah, blah, blah. They wanted to get in front of the story so they could say the right thing. So will there be any terms of service, terms of employment agreement?
I think
You can't make a TikTok about our lettuce not being fresh.
I think what's going to get some of them out of trouble, I remember very clearly, my insomnia has been really bad lately, and I was watching TikToks at 2:32 in the morning 2 weeks ago, and I saw when it first started was this, tell me a company secret that you can tell because you no longer work there. And the key is because you know
I see those Reddit threads all the time.
work there. And that's where I'm just like,
Mm. I have interesting stories.
What'd you say, Seanna?
I have some interesting answers here.
Go ahead then.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I have nine of wands. There are a lot of people here who are not having a good time. There are disgruntled workers and ex-workers that are happy to expose the place that they worked for. And then the other people not having a good time are the companies themselves being like, oh my God, shut up, shut up, shut up to these people. Now, it is a concentrated effort. A lot of people are getting together with the Lover's card to tell these secrets, expose this stuff. It's almost like a way of helping each other. And this is it's interesting it comes to mind, but anti-work is what popped into my head. It's a subreddit. I'm sure it's everywhere else on the internet. And it's like blowing the cover on like corporate culture and toxic work environments and making people more aware of their rights as workers and things like that. I think a lot of that has inspired some people to start making these TikToks and Reddit posts, things like that. Now, some people, I have the full card. Some people are burning bridges, doing these TikToks while they still work at the place. That's not good. You're not going to work there very long if you get caught. So I have here, what are they going to do as a result? Two of Swords. I think some people are going to be fired. I also have Justice. Like, there's going to be consequences for some of the people, like, who, maybe were current workers or whatever, depending on the severity of what some people are saying. Like, because I'm also hearing the word libel. I don't really know what that word means, but it's coming in. And also, like, slander, just like, hey, that's not true about us. The companies are trying to be, like, defending themselves, whatever. I also pick up with Justice, the companies themselves are going to try and come up with rules to work around these kind of posts. Because right now they're sort of stuck. They're like, what can we do about it? They're still trying to figure out what to do about it. It's not like they're going to do this necessarily, but with this Devil card, they are going to have to look into, are our policies really that great? Does this really help our workers? Is this really good for the customer, et cetera? They're going to have to look into it. Leadership, all these managers and stuff are going to have to sort of think about it and the way that they treat their staff and whatever. But yeah, that's what I have.
What'd you get, Adrian?
There's too many like-minded people right now, and they're not just the kids. It's a lot of people exposing. I get the long answer is yes. They are going to do something. There's going to be, her whole crosshole is
She's very natural.
Let me do this there. Her whole toots and butts are showing with the star. Yes, there is going to be something, right? Here's the part that's hilarious, though. I'm gonna let John go. I'll put her up on there too, like bam!
I always have to remember to not show up.
She really is it.
She is very I am every woman. She really is. You go ahead.
You gotta put those black bars up on the over the breast and the.
I mean, the black flower is kind of the problem. I mean, it's in the wrong place.
I need a sticky note so I can cover her.
Don't worry about it. We ain't gonna get demonetized.
Okay. Well,
It's art. It's art. Yes.
in the here and now is the star. Yes, they're going to do something. Here's the part that's hilarious, though. It's going to backfire because what they don't realize is that people are sick of the corporate mess right now. The Four Swords and the Lovers. There's way too many people who are tired. This is, I mean, they're not calling this the Great Resignation for nothing right now. Page of Pentacles too is how it started, and the Seven of Cups. Again, their revenue was hurting, and how many things? There's so much information. There's so many things coming out. I mean, good Lord, because they're not just slandering the company, like, oh, Taco Bell uses dog meat. That's not like I'm being hyperbole to calm down. But they're also doing things like you said, Johnny, with the Chipotle. Like, here is how you can also ask for extra rice and beans to skim the system. It's technically not illegal. They're just telling you how to work the system. So how do you sue somebody for that? You can't. How do you write a clause that says you cannot do social media? You can't, because that's technically going against somebody's First Amendment. They technically can say whatever the hell they want to say. So what do? Have everybody sign an NDA? That becomes expensive. That becomes difficult. So what do? And it's not worth it when somebody makes $7.25 an hour. The amount of legal it takes to do that. So they're hurting now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the environment, and they're trying to figure it out. But here's where I think it's interesting. Be careful what you do, because it will come back to you. It's all going to get exposed anyway, Boo Boo Kitty, with the sun.
Yeah.
This is the outcome card. It's all going to get exposed. You can we have a clause at my job that says within 6 months of you quitting or being terminated, you cannot go work for the competitor. And when I are a competitor in the space, all these mother suckers is quitting and the next day and announcing they're working for the competitors. They have found ways to get around these stupid A clauses, or they're just like, you know what? Are you really going to come sue me? Who gonna check me?
Yeah, really.
So it's going to come out. It's going to be exposed. You can only hide for so long. Big business. Good luck.
Yep.
Where'd you get, Toni?
Yeah, I get so their mere presence of what they went through on the job and being able to talk about it, they have their recognition about what the job is actually doing, what they're doing at the job. Most of these people have moved on from their place of employment. So they could talk all they want because it's free speech. Because they don't care now. It's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't care about you. They're doing new things. They're telling the truth. They're telling it like it TI is. They're fulfilling their wishes and making some other people very, 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 very nervous, because the very foundation of their businesses are being exposed. So people are feeling that acid rain. Companies. That's it. I dropped my card.
I get the big wigs here. Yes, somebody is going to try to do something. King of Swords, King of Pentacles. 3 of Swords, because they don't like it. 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups is a card you cannot do nothing about. The cup is not being offered like the Ace of Cups. It is being handed, which means here you go, even though you didn't ask for it. I didn't ask you if you wanted it or not. Here you go. And so this is something they can't change. They can't do nothing about this. You can't fire everybody. How can you threaten me with $7.25?
Yeah.
I can make that anywhere and everywhere. Page of Swords and the Judgment. You can't do nothing about it. The inside man, the spy, he knows everything. He's going to continue to know everything. He's going to release it. Ain't nothing you can do. You can create, mind you, there are things in place already that says, like if you work for a grocery store, don't go and tell our prices to the people down the street. Meanwhile, you will send somebody that you employed into somebody else's store to spy on their prices.
Mhm.
So there is this balance of impropriety and tactics. You can't do nothing about this. People, social media is bigger than you and your rules and regulations. I'm just letting you know right now. Give it up. Okay, let's take a walk on the spiritual side for a second. So we have done readings in the past about when we die and we come here and we learn spiritual lessons. We learn lessons that we can then use for our edification and to sort of grow our spirit and mature our spirit and things like that. What is the purpose of spirits coming here in human form, learning lessons? What do they do with it over there? If it's all love and light and shiny and happiness, what do you need over there? Why do I need to know how to read tarot cards over there? Why do I need a human lesson in a spiritual realm? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose?
Toni, you were muted.
I said no pressure.
No.
Yeah.
The biggest question there has ever been, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of learning a human lesson for a spiritual creature? What is that? Why? You're supposed to be sort of above us a little bit. Yes, to learn, but why? Why do they need to learn? And why is it they can't just learn that over there? Why do they have to come here and get the flawed existence and then learn that in a perfect place?
This is so interesting. I like this answer. I hope I'm interpreting it correctly. To help build strength, to develop more strength, because they are still a vessel. When we cross over and we become this spiritual thing, we go back to stardust. That spiritual imprint, depending on where you are in your spiritual imprint journey, people who just crossed over per se, may be still working through trying to, learning lessons, doing their life review. That's the phrase I was looking for, life review. Thank you, Joanne, for the super chat and for the donation to Johnny's channel. So it's to continue to build that spiritual strength. It's continue to grow. The challenge too is that when you're spiritual like that, at that realm, you don't have emotions. What's this for? I don't need this. And so that's the challenge, is to kind of help, I hate to say humility, but to help them remember what it was like to be a meat suit at one point, what that was like. To bring in new thought too with the Page of Swords. And just, again, this collaboration. We are all doing, almost like a, when I used to work in a restaurant, the line managers would have to go back behind, the general manager sometimes would have to go back behind the line once a month, not so much to help out a chef, but is to remember how to cook all the basic parts of this. It's the same thing. Like, don't forget what that's like, because you're on deck in 10 more years. You're gonna have to go back to that human form. So I'm gonna need you to remember that this is all interconnected. And the star is actually how it ended. I thought that was beautiful. That was my outcome card. So it's just to help continuing to flex that spiritual muscle, to create that muscle memory.
Toni, what you get?
I got this beautiful card, and the word is intuition, but you see that door behind there? That's, passing over, making that transformation. This is the death card in the tarot. And it's, this transformation is all about learning how to sacrifice that knowledge, you give away. It's the card that I used before called the giveaway. You give away that knowledge in order for you to absorb more knowledge and sort of move in an accelerated pace into a new door. And you make that choice. You're making that choice, and your guides are saying choose wisely, but that they come to help you make that choice. You're making a choice, choose wisely. I mean, I don't know what that is supposed to mean for everyone, but for me, it's all about being, being the light, being the shining, the light worker, being the light worker that I came here to be. So that choice, that decision is what it's all about for me.
Seanna, what you get?
I like what you guys have both said already. I have here the wheel. We are supposed to experience this. This is what I pick up. We must look at life from all these different perspectives as the one divine source experiencing itself in all of these different ways. Not only do we need to experience it, we want to. And not only do we want to, we just are. I have here the 10 of Wands and 5 of Wands. I like what Adrian said about remembering what it was like, because this earth realm is really dense energetically. It's kind of a struggle. It's kind of exhausting when you think about it. And then we go back over to the other side and everything is so much different. It's lighter. It feels a lot more, well, there's a lot more freedom over there. We don't take for granted the lessons and the experiences we had on Earth. And I think it's to give us a greater appreciation for life itself and the extent to which we can experience it. That's what I got.
There's a part of this that I hate to rehash. Well, not hate to rehash, because it's actually a very good conversation. But there's a part of this that sort of rehashes that free will conversation. I don't think they fully have all the choice in the world. Now, you may agree to come back as this person, but you don't have the option whether you have to come back or not. It's like you have to, because there is something else you need to do. The 9 of Wands is tiresome. It's a lot of work you have to put in, but you have to keep doing it until it's done. You do feel like you want to give up. You do feel like you want to step out, but you have to keep going. Perseverance, tenacity, fortitude. King of Pentacles in the High Priestess. It's not so much that you need the lesson from here over there. There's a lesson here that you can't get over there. And so it's not so much a need, but it is something that you have to experience because you have to come back. Thank you, Spark. Because you have to come back here. You're going to have to come back here multiple times. Ace of Cups, 6 of Wands. So it's not that their human existence sort of adds to their well, it does add to their spiritual existence, but everybody on the other side is not happy. And as a medium, reluctantly, but as a medium, I have tried to speak to people that are closed off because they're still dealing with the trauma, even over there. So over here, there are unique experiences you're not going to get over there. And so what is the purpose of them coming here? It's kind of the mechanism. It's what happens. This is like, don't think about it like that's some sort of anomaly. That's what happens. We go here, we go there. We go here, we go there. It's that thing. Don't ask, why the sun comes up in the morning, because the earth turned. That's what happens. Thank you, Catherine. It's what happens. It's part of the system. You go there, you come here. You go there, you come here. So what is the purpose of life? There's no purpose. It just happens.
Do you think that who's they? Do you think that the powers that be allow you to come back even if you have crossed over and you're still in that trauma place, right? So do you have to heal from that before you move on, or are able to make that contract to come back and do and learn another lesson? Do you have to, I don't know, sort of process that
Do
on
you
the
have
other
to
side?
basically close out that lifeline before you come back and do another one?
Right, right, right.
Let's ask.
I wonder that too.
Well, you're muted, Adrian.
It's a really good question because for especially this year, because this year makes March makes 10 years that my mom's been gone. And I'm like, I wonder, does she get to stay over there and kind of watch over us until all her children die, or is she gonna get to reincarnate and then I lose that connection to her spirit because it's now reincarnated something else before we pass? Thank you so much for the super chat, Catherine. So it's a really good question, Toni, because I've always wondered that.
Mhm. Because I have once in a mediumship reading tried to pick up someone and they were not there. Now, what I thought though, and I don't know because I didn't like do a reading to see whether I was right or not, that they're still here. Not that they were over there and then they came back. It's like they never crossed over in the first place, so I can't reach them there because they're not there. But it is an interesting concept, though, of if that energy that I knew is now here, do I have that connection anymore? Do they leave a print behind, or is it just it's over and done? So, but do you have to heal from the first life before you begin the next?
Mm, I'm gonna say you have to heal. There's the steps. There's things you have to, because otherwise you're maybe repeating the same things. I think Trump would have to maybe sit up a whole, I don't know, maybe 300, 400, 500 years out before he goes back down, versus a Hitler who may never come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get the outcome is the victory, but you can't. I have a whole bunch of other cards in the interim. A lot of too is that with the 8 of Pentacles, you got to do the work. And with the Tower, you got to blow whatever that was, whatever that trauma, it has to literally get blown to smithereens. It has to be brought all the way back down to the base so it can start anew. And it's hard too, because a lot of people don't necessarily know or want to with the 2 of Swords is how I get started. But no, I think you have to go through the work first. Ace of Wands in the Crown, going through these actions. I think you have to, or it may not be 100%. Maybe you have to go through like 85 or 90, like a test, whatever, enough to get an A or a B, then you can pass. And then
On the curve.
No
Yeah.
hobbies. That's a shame. High D is how I graduated. What you mean? I wasn't getting at it there with no A. I didn't know. I couldn't find my way to an A with a telescope and a map. I couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Just couldn't do it. What you get, Toni?
Oh, I got so you go up and I up somewhere. You have the opportunities, this is the opportunity for you to make a different, choice. This is you've ended this, but if you still have all this emotional baggage, then you have to heal that. You have to heal that. And there are spirits, souls, angels that will help you to do that, so that you actually go into a sort of a gestational period again, kind of, so that you can start over fresh without that baggage, hopefully, without, like you said, Adrian, 80% of that baggage, because everything has a memory. So you can be fresh and you can have new passions and ideas and goals and stuff for the next life. There's hope for that, and Adrian's favorite, so that you want to have a firm foundation in your spirituality. So yeah, you have to heal that before you can come through that door again. Before you come through that door.
What you get, Ian?
I have that your loose ends have to be tied up. This is justice. You can't have a huge discrepancy between trauma and healing. I have 9 of Swords as well. I don't know if 100% of the trauma has to be worked through, but most of it has to be healed and released. And something else I get is that you have to be at a level of understanding. Okay, this happened in that lifetime, and this is why it happened. Here's what I learned from it. Here's what I could do going forward. If a person or a spirit does not have that understanding, they're not able to go forward. They need to have an understanding of that last lifetime and their choices and things that happened to them, etc. I'm also getting, now I did ask Spirit, okay, because what Adrian was saying about her mom, and if, would she come back or would she wait until the rest of the family got there, whatever. I asked Spirit, and I got that there is kind of a free will choice at play. Now, your higher self, there is a part of you that's always in the spirit realm, and it knows which like, for example, my higher self has probably taken on a bunch of different earth forms before, and maybe somebody's trying to get a hold of me. The higher self remembers who Seanna is and is like, okay, let's tune into her so that we can channel a message or whatever. I also have the Magician. I think that they don't get a choice whether or not they're going to come back, but they might be able to choose sort of when they're ready. They got to feel like they're ready, and they have to want to come back in order for the next lifetime to be like the most effective. But for the most part, you got to tie up your loose ends. Yeah, you can't have too much unworked out stuff before you come back. You got to work stuff out.
I get the opposite. I get the Chariot and the Page of Swords first. The Chariot is self-discipline. This is something you have to work on. The Page of Swords is the liar and the bad news, the delays, all that type of stuff. But here with the Chariot and the Page of Swords and the High Priestess, most of it, yes, you do need to heal, but there is something that you need to perfect almost. So you come back here with a little bit of that is still left over, so that when it comes to you, you remember it. It leaves a print on you from your last life. Like me, for instance, afraid of large fires, even though I've never been in a house fire or a large fire. So something in one of my existences may have been burnt at the stake or something of that nature.
That's what I was thinking.
I cannot sit with my back to an open door because I was stabbed in the back at one point. And so in this life, that's never happened. But I still have that. It makes me uneasy. I have to turn and look at the open door. The kitchen we have here, the sink is there, and then there's a big open space behind me, and it drives me nuts to face the sink, and then this big open space is behind me because I feel like somebody's walking up behind me. So there is something from a previous life that I still had to carry over into this one. And I need to now learn how to stop doing that, how to stop looking over my shoulder in my own house every single time. And so there's little bits of things, mind you. It's not like a big major thing you need to go to therapy for, but it's a little bits of things with the Page of Swords and the High Priestess that you got to learn how to deal with. It's at conflict. You may feel powerless to change it, but this is a feeling, not an actuality. So you are never, ever, ever powerless to change anything. So accept the fact that you will die. But other than that,
Yes, you have to pay taxes, and sometimes the state of Pennsylvania will double debit your checking account. I'm just
state
saying.
of Pennsylvania. Oh Lord Jesus.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say that's why that's why I think that we don't recover from 100% of the past life stuff. I think there's always going to be little breadcrumbs left over, little things that you're going to run into in your subsequent lifetimes.
That's what the shadow is all about, right? Because
Yeah.
that's when
Exactly.
we create
Kind of like
shadows.
Kind of
We
like
create
a
shadows,
side
but
quest,
it's a what?
like a side quest, like a game. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just saying that's we bring shadows with us, and we make them while we're here as well. So
So we're gonna always come back a little screwed up.
Always.
No one gets out of here alive.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into the realm of YouTube for a second.
no.
So there are different sectors of YouTube. Like for instance, we are the metaphysical and the tarot, love and light, whatever you call it. We're that realm. We're that sector. The psychic and so forth. Then there is like YouTube gaming. Then there's like YouTube gossip channels and pop culture. And there's YouTube music, and there's YouTube cooking. There's YouTube anything. There's an audience for everything. And so in the YouTube gossip pop culture section, there is a YouTuber by the name of Tasha K. She was a Wendy Williams type person. So she did a lot of people's dirt and a lot of people's gossip.
I like to stir the pot.
She did a story. I forget what the story was, but she did a story about Cardi B. Cardi B is a rapper.
Offset and him cheating and some stuff that Cardi B contributed. It was salacious.
And she got sued by Cardi
Pocket
B.
too.
She got sued by Cardi B for either slander or defamation, one of the two. But she won that case.
Yeah.
And I would also say that it is the reason why people don't sue tabloids all the time, because it's hard to win those cases. But she won. Tasha K is not some Wendy Williams who has, lawyers and insurance behind her. She's a YouTuber. And so she just lost her case of $1.5 million is what
Holy
she
shit.
lost. Yes.
Oh,
So what I want to know is, thank you, Kasank. What I want to know is who brought this to my attention the other day, which made me look at it. What I want to know is what, if any change at all, will this change the verdict that happened? Will this change the YouTube gossip pop culture sector? Now, I did this reading already, but I'll do it again.
1 point, and then there's is the 1.4 the total, or is the 1.4 the initial settlement? Because then she also got popped for Cardi's legal fees.
Did she really?
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why I didn't know, because I remember hearing 1.2, and so I don't know if 1.2 was the verdict, and then she's gonna have to pay more for the legal fees.
Because I heard 1.5 was what she got, but
So that could be. Then that probably is with legal fees and everything.
and mind you, this is the principle of matter, because Cardi B don't need her money, but she do need her to stop spreading stories.
Cardi B is doing this to show her whole. What you not gonna do is.
And it was some other person that was like, okay, 3.8 million.
Well, so that includes the 3.8.
Oh, good mercy.
Please. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
She definitely ain't got that kind of money. I mean, she might. She was doing endorsements and had different businesses and things, but I don't think so.
If she did, she doesn't anymore.
I definitely. But will this change that gossip section of YouTube? Because, a lot of people just say, well, this is my opinion, but maybe you can't just be flying off at the mouth. This is people's lives and reputations. Because like what we do here with the political readings, we don't know Donald Trump. And, I've done 800 million readings to tell you he's a fool and he's a horrible person. He's a this, he's a that. He did this, he did that. I don't know none of that for sure. And so I ain't got $620 to give you. Pennsylvania got it.
The state of Pennsylvania currently has it.
Go get it from them if you want somebody from me. That's all I can tell you.
That's what I'm saying. Jeez.
Yeah.
I have the outcome. And then I got a whole bunch of crap in the beginning that don't make no damn sense. So this was a huge success with the Hierophant and the Six of Wands. This was big. The judgment that came in set a shock wave. And what's going to happen is there will be some people that are going to have to move on. They know there's some that are going to be next. There may even be some already in the pike. This was just the big one because it's Cardi B. She's very famous and that's a lot of money she's going to have to cough up. Here's what's interesting though. I don't necessarily think that, because again, the celebrity gossip is just so ingrained in culture. I don't think that's going to go away ever. And because you've got the devil, that's what I'm getting. It's an addiction. We love, more people were obsessed with what Jackie O was wearing than anything that JFK did in the presidency. That's just, we have this, for crying out loud, Keeping Up with the Kardashians was on air for 20 something years. People just want to know what's going on. But there's some folks are shook. There's some shookness with the Ace of Cups in the environment. I wonder too if YouTube is trying to think about how we're, what's next, because are they now going to be liable? Because they were the platform who hosted her mess. They're kind of figuring out, okay, kind of like back now that all of us are on YouTube, anybody has a YouTube channel, you have to say, is this for kids or not? I wonder if YouTube was like, okay, are we going to need to go and do that kind of disclaimer kind of thing and make people attest to that at the beginning? So they're kind of juggling what to do. But for right now, it is going to hold on. They want to hold on with the Four of Pentacles. However, there's going to be some shiggly-liggly with the Five of Cups, Nine of Swords with anxiety, and then again with the Five of Wands bickering. This is not the first, nor will this be the last of this type of lawsuit. It's not. There's going to be more. So if YouTube or whatever mediums can't figure out and stop juggling the best way to go and continue to do the celebrity gossip, it's going to be, you're going to see more cases.
Maybe they're going to have to read for entertainment purposes only. This is my disclaimer.
That was the part that was funny, is because she did. And she still got her behind. The problem with hers is she came back and did a subsequent video and was like, Cardi, you know which two she, and blah, 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 blah. And I said what I said. It's like, no, heifer. When she
was making declarations, which means you're trying to pass this off as fact.
Yeah. You should, when she told you to shut up the first time, you should have caught the hint then.
What'd you get, Toni?
I got, it's sending shock waves because of that conflict and that defeat. You can't, Cardi B's got too much money. You can't fight that. You cannot fight that. So it's sending shockwaves, like Adrian said, through the whole community, and some people are going to have to shut it down, or or bring it down a notch or two. Really watch what they say, because oh my goodness, it's no joke. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to you. No matter what you think you know, no matter what you think you saw, no matter what you think you see. You want to be a star? You want that to make you a star? No, baby. The person who you're talking about is going to be successful and leave you in the shadows. That's stardom because of the truth. That libel is no joke.
No joke.
Seanna, what you get?
Yeah, I got the World card. This is not the first, and like Adrian said, it's not going to be the last time that something like this will come up, but this is one of the more recent times that it's really exploded, really, really blown up. I have the Empress here. There is some kind of like a growing movement or a growing energy where a lot of famous people are going to be going like, oh, I actually could sue for that. Instead of wondering, is it worth it to sue? They go, maybe I should look into this, or, maybe try to settle or something like that. Now, as far as these content creators go, I have that some of them are going to, I got the word hiatus. A couple of them might take a break and go. I'm actually seeing like the image of, I don't know who this is or whose channel or what, but I'm seeing like scrolling through their videos. They're combing through their videos to look for anything that might be suable. I don't know what the word is, but that might be like bad enough to get them in trouble, and they might be unlisting certain videos. Now, I do have, if I could pick up these cards, here we go. Six of Swords. Some of these channels are going to move on to doing something else. Maybe more talking about TV and, characters instead of actual real people. Some people might just be like, you know what, screw it. I'm moving on. I'm doing something else with life completely. Some are going to keep it very light. They might talk about just the fluff, like, oh, so-and-so had a baby, so-and-so is getting married, like the more positive things. I have the Fool card. A lot of these people are going to really be playing up the fact that I don't know this 100% for sure. I don't know if it's true, but here is what we've heard. Like really, really playing up the fact that it's opinion. But for the most part, I think a lot of those content creators with the Chariot here are going to keep moving forward for the time being. But they might change the way they do some of their gossiping.
There was another case where this is between two YouTubers, actually. The people who do the reaction videos, they were playing here in the corner some guy's video and then making fun of him as they do on their channel. And he, of course, didn't like it because who wants to be made fun of? And so he sued them. And he sent them text messages or emails or something about if you just give me this, $750 and an apology, then the whole thing will go away. And so then they exposed that, saying, he's trying to, blackmail us or whatever. Yeah. And the thing was, in the end, they didn't say anything to damage your reputation. They made fun of you. Again, nobody wants to be made fun of, but you are on a public forum. Somebody's going to say something nasty, something ugly. You got to be okay with yourself. That way, when they say it, it means nothing to you. Not to mention, these people their opinion shouldn't be important to you. They're strangers. So the real problem is in you, not in them. The second thing on their end, though, stop making fun of people. That boy is on his channel doing his thing. Why did you go get his video just so you can point and laugh? He wasn't talking to you. He didn't send it to you. He didn't bother you. Now, but again, you need to be okay with somebody doing that because that's YouTube.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the entire premise of TikTok, though.
Making fun of people.
And tagging the video and making fun of the creator in the video and tag. I'm don't shoot the messenger.
But I think in this sector, though, somebody's worried. A lot of them are. Yeah. And I think, like Seanna said, there might be a permit where you're going back and, okay, what did I say in this video? Okay, unlist, delete. Unless it's like there might be some stuff. 3 of Swords, 9 of Cups. Yeah, you're going to have to pull back a little bit. I would change the tactic. If you want to gossip, what you do is follow Wendy Williams' philosophy. Give them the fact of the story, and then chit chat after that. So say such and such met such and such, and then, oh, by the way, here's what I think. Not here's what is, because if you start stating something, your opinion as fact, then they're going to sue you for slander. But if you're just chit-chatting and kitchen table talking by the way in, then big deal. Jesus Christian. Okay, let's do one more. Speaking of Jesus Christian, there is a church by the name of St. Timothy's Episcopal Church in Brookings, Oregon. Okay, collect myself. Because every time I talk about the church, I got something negative to say. because I was about to do it just now. What the hell?
I was like, I'm complaining. So you don't do it.
Sending out positive energies to
And-
Johnny.
Break you down,
Johnny.
Johnny. I cleansed you. Don't do it. Don't do it, Hammer.
In this case,
I got my
this is the exact example of what church is supposed to be. This is the thing that I am looking for other churches to do and to be. So this church went from feeding the homeless for one day, and now they do it 6 days a week. Because who else is doing it? So they feed the homeless 6 days a week. Come in, it's not like they charge or anything like that. You come in, we'll feed you. Not only that, people who have a hard time, if they live in their car and they have a hard time parking somewhere, they can use the church's parking lot. The city asked the church if they could do that because you can get tickets and towed and all this other stuff if you go in the wrong places. The city asked the church, can they park their car here? They said, absolutely. You go right ahead. Not to mention they feed the homeless 6 days a week. The church has now got a ordinance from the city that they have to cut it back to 2 days a week. So the city has filed a lawsuit saying that this is not right. They're not even going with the high and mighty, we're doing God's work and da da da. No, these people need food and this is wrong. Now, the city also got complaints from people in the neighborhood of too much noise, and there's litter and there's traffic and that type. There's homeless people in their neighborhood and they don't like it. So,
That's so frustrating.
will the church come out on top in this one? Will they be able to resume the 6 days a week? You finally get a church trying to do the right thing, not trying, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And here you go. This chaps my ass. I just want you to know that right now. My pet cause is homelessness in this world. And to find a church that is doing the right thing, I was turning cartwheels. And then here's these people. Stop doing it. Like,
Okay, but what though? Oh hell.
you make me upset.
Unfortunately, I think not. I think they're gonna have to stop. They're gonna have to go back down to the 2 days. I got 8 of Wands was my outcome. I said 8 of Wands is what's quick, what's quick, what's quick, and what's quick is hell no. They're not gonna be able to keep doing it, which is so frustrating. And if you want to know why, there's some. It's so funny. We're reading about church, and look what's at the crown, the devil,
Mm-hmm.
and at the base is the world. Some force, entity, person, thing is forcing them to stop this. They want to keep doing it. And the sad, and what's funny is there may be some ambiguity in the middle because they don't know yet. They may dangle a carrot in front of their face and say, oh, and maybe you can, and let them push back because of the moon. But now there's burden, and somebody, their word of warning is actually there's somebody that's stacking the deck against them. So they're not going to be able to, which is that's so sad. That is just so sad. I hope one of you guys gets a better answer than I do.
Where'd you get, Toni?
You're muted, boo. Toni, you're muted.
This is a spiritual union and it's a spiritual contract between the church and the community. It's service. It's their contract, what they are meant to do, and then they are asked to pull it back, to withdraw, to stop doing what their contract says they should do. In the past, it just made everybody a little bit happier. It helped so many people. And so now they're going to have to figure out a new way of doing that. They're going to withdraw, go back into this gestational period and figure out how to get through this emotional loss that is going to happen for a lot of people, because they don't have that thing. But in the immediate future, I think somebody's going to step in to try to mediate this situation. I got victory and success, so I don't know. Maybe that's where they want to be right now. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. But there's some kind of financial and material changes that are happening for the church. I think somebody is going to step in. This is patience and planning. Somebody's going to step in to try to fix this problem. So don't get too upset, Johnny. I think it may take a lot of time, but eventually, people will be serviced in some way.
This already made my ass itch. It's over. What you get, Seanna?
I mean, I have 4 of Pentacles here. The church is like holding on. They're trying to do the best they can with what they have and with what they're being allowed to do right now. But there is definitely somebody who is trying to put a halt on this. It's a really gross feeling that I get when I think about that. However, things don't look so bad, at least in my spread here. They may not be able to go back to every day. I have here 7 of Cups. The church would love to be able to help every day if they could. That's what I'm picking up here. I have the Star, which is like a hopeful outcome. I have 4 of Cups though, and I think this might mean there might be a bit of, I'm going to use air quotes, a compromise here, where the city goes, okay, fine, instead of 2 days a week, my feeling is you'll be able to feed people 4 days a week. 4 days. And, the church goes, okay, fine, we'll take it for the time being. I do have 8 of Cups that eventually somebody is going to, I feel like it might be the city might lose interest in pursuing this, stopping the church. I think there is going to be enough outcry from people that he's like, okay, we'll back off a little bit. So there might be a bit of a compromise. I don't know if they'll be able to, help people every single day like they want to, but they might be able to a little bit more than 2 days a week.
So I get the 2 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. So their success is blocked here in the beginning. The Page of Wands and the 7 of Wands. There is a message, however, that comes about putting them in the higher ground. So they will be in a position to defend. They will be in a better position than they were when they started out, which is part of God's promise. Should you remain faithful, remind you, don't curse when you're trying to speak spiritual stuff. Mind you, God is more powerful than your rules and your ordinance. So all you need to do is literally pray this away. And I guarantee you, again, you stay faithful, he will put you on the higher ground, a better position to defend than they are to attack. Pharaoh and his army is behind me type thing. Justice and the 9 of Cups. They will get what they want. They're in the end. That does not mean that they get to feed people 6 days a week at the church. It means they get what they want. So if they are still wanting to feed people 6 days a week, you can do it elsewhere. So if the people in that area are complaining, because I get it, there's homeless walking around your neighborhood and there's litter on the ground and noise that ain't like they're feeding people at 3 a.m. But okay, fine. You paid a lot of money for your house in this area, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So what they can do maybe is rent a spot, a little convention center, some little small something that they can put them in and then feed them. So again, they still get what they want. They don't necessarily have to do it at the church. Kumbaya.
I wonder if someone's going to donate space.
Somebody should.
Or like build a convention center.
Or have multiple spaces.
Mm-hmm. Just, hey.
One on like each side of the city or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or just let them do it in their GD church. And it's
Yeah, really.
I mean, anyway, you know what? We'll end on a more positive note. Can we get a message? One card if you want something to, since retrograde is dying at least until she reawakens this zombie. I can't stand her. It's very
In May, she come back around her birthday.
oh god.
She bass huzzy. She's
Because she cost me $620. But it's okay.
She didn't stick me for my paper this time, although she did break my printer, so maybe she did stick me for my paper.
Oh god.
Ugh. Expensive printer I've had forever. Listen, stop telling yourself you can't and you ain't, and that it can't happen and it won't happen. That's just a damn lie you keep telling yourself to yourself about yourself. Stop it. You are capable. Did you wake up today? Did you tie your shoes? Did you brush your teeth? Did you manage to pee and poop in the toilet and not on yourself? Most of the time I did today.
Ideally.
Got a little dicey when I came home earlier today, but it's okay.
You know, sometimes when you put the key in the door and it's like, oh my god, hurry up with this key, and then it becomes completely uncontrollable when you get this far from the toilet.
Yeah, so mine is normally when I'm pulling the pants down. True story. When I was 7, I had to pee really badly. My sister took me to the bathroom, and as I pulled my pants down, I pissed everywhere. Everywhere. She cussed me. I mean, I had never heard her cuss until that moment, and she called me. I was like, I'm 7. I can't help it.
When you were 7, I was like 27.
I think it doesn't matter your age.
Most of the time today, except for the last incident, I'm pretty much made it to the bathroom. So you are capable. You can do what you need to do. Today, I will accomplish every goal that I set for myself. Even if that goal is I will not get arrested today. Stop telling yourself you can't and you won't. You are capable, and please celebrate your wins. Stop looking so much at your losses. There's the 5 of Cups card. You keep looking at the 3 that you spilled in front of you, and you don't look over your shoulder that you still got some standing, and then you still got juice flowing. You were capable. Believe that, trust that, empower that. Done. And if 5 Below would like to sponsor me so I can get my 5 Below decks, you can go to 5 Below and get your affirmation cards as well. I'm done.
Toni, what you get? And you're muted.
Because my dog was eating, I didn't want you guys to hear him slurp, 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 slurp. So I got the witness. You are the witness of your life. You are the one who has to look at it, judge it, whatever it is that you do to it. Like, yeah, I guess you could be too hard on yourself, but you be the witness of your life. I guess that's the only thing I can say. That's all that's coming through is be the witness of your life. Be the observer. Oh, yes. Be the observer of your life and not be a reactionary person. Don't react. Sit back or try to take a moment and look at what the situation is before you act, before you speak, before you do something that you might be sorry for later. Be the witness, be the observer. Observe what's going on before you react. Your reaction is everything.
Seanna, what you get?
I have. The answer is internal. The back of the card says, unfortunately, many people don't have much awareness of their spiritual selves. So they spend a lot of time trying to fill an inexplicable void within themselves by seeking things like power, money, and material success. But the answer doesn't lie outside ourselves. It is internal, not external. And it is the essence within us all, the wise, loving, powerful, and creative inner core of our being that some call the higher self or the inner self. your validation and your answers and what you're looking for is within. You're not going to fill that void with anything material outside of yourself.
Okay. I just got paid.
Yay!
So to end, it says be persistent.
Well, there you go.
Remember, when you are trying something, not falling ass backwards into something, when you are consciously trying something, you did not fail if it did not work. That is step one. Learn from those things that did not work, change them, perfect them, and try again. That is how they built Rome. That is how they built anything worth looking at. That is how you got here. And so be persistent. Understand step one from failure. Take step two, try again. Thank y'all for coming out and joining us. Also, thank you, Red Lentil Healing, Shining Hulk Healing, Seanna Red Rose Metaphysical Healing, here on Terror the Princess Healing. we are going to see you on Seanna's channel next week, where we do our non-political tarots. So y'all be sure to look for a post if you want to leave some questions and things like that. And I will see y'all tomorrow on Red Lentil Healing at 7:30 for our Zodiacals, where we will be doing some more oracle reads for y'all. Also, speaking of oracle reads, go check out Jody and Spark on Jody Roberts' channel, who did oracle reads for you today and played a little music. And then Sunday, we will be on Jen Lynn's channel with We will be on my channel with Lena, and then the next week, Jen Lynn's channel with Adrian. So I will see y'all tomorrow and Sunday, and then next week too. Bye-bye.